and then go live. Why is this not going live? Oh, okay, there it goes. There we are. I think we are actually live. Will you check the Instagram? I'm going to check my Instagram.
Yes.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, great. We're live. Here we are. Hello. Oh my God. I do apologize for the delay, everybody. Hi. This is our very first episode of the Tits Tea Podcast, and it's a very home operation. So I sincerely apologize for.
Hi, Coco.
Hi, Coco. So before we dive into everything, let me just go ahead and introduce everybody to myself and to my co-host. Welcome to the very first episode of the Tits and Tea Podcast. We are live streaming on Instagram. If you have comments and anything, you can go ahead and write your comments. My co-host just next to me on the screen is James with a J. Say hi, James with a J.
Hey, girl. Hey.
So James with a J and I will be going through a lovely little podcast today. We've got some fun things planned for you. But if you have any comments, go ahead and write them in the stream. And we will go ahead and try and get them as we are going. As we are new to this system, we will go ahead and include you guys in some in the future. We're going to have more links where you can actually come on the back end and join us backstage in the live stream, and we can have comments on the actual stream, not just on the Instagram account. But we're new to this. We're working it out. We're hoping to get everything kind of squared away. But today we've got so many wonderful things planned. We've got Cheesemay. We've got updates on what's going on in my life, what's going on in the hot topics in the world. We got some little life advice. So we got so much to get through. So welcome everybody. And welcome, James. How are you?
I'm good, girl. How are you? I'm so excited. Our very first episode. Here we are.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, girl. Let's do it.
It's kind of crazy. We've been talking about doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've been I've been wanting to put together something. And I'm just so grateful that you're here. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get some guests in the future. I've got a lot of friends we can call. I know you've got some.
Oh, yeah.
You might even have some friends out there. I know one of the people first commenting.
1 or 2.
Yeah. One of the first people commenting on the stream actually has already offered to come on the show. So we're going to have Coco Montrese on the show here soon. And she didn't know that it was going to be filmed live. And so she was like, oh, I got to be careful what I say. I was like, well, we can edit in post-production for everything that we post on the streaming platforms later if you want to go ahead and download the podcast on your own and listen to it in your own time. But yeah, we're live, babies.
Just means exciting exclusives for the people that tune in for the live broadcast.
That part, exactly. Let's go ahead and take a quick moment and let's check in with Instagram and see what is happening on the live. Do you see anything going on? Do you see any people?
We got a handful of people with us. Yes,
I love that. So I'm glad to see that we've got people starting up and being a part of it, because today we got a lot to get through. It's we got a 1 hour episode and we are 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this. So let's start off. Let me kind of give everybody kind of an idea. We have a couple segments that we're going to go through. First of all, we're going to talk hot topics. We're going to then go into Cheesemay. We will then cover Mama's Milk, and we'll get into what that is later. And then good news only to kind of wrap it all up and kind of give you. And then at the end, we'll give you a little recap and then go over what little teaser for what we're going to talk about in the next episode. So everyone, I hope you're ready to go. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. Hot topics right now. So one of the hot topics that we're going to go over today is the government cut the queer kids crisis line. Then a billionaire stepped in. So it basically, according to the Trevor Project research, an estimated 1.8 million LGBTQ plus young people in the United States seriously consider suicide every year. Queer youth are at least 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their non-LGBTQ plus peers. This line that was cut was not optional. It's a lifeline. I mean, I see so much happening with this regime that we're having to deal with. And it disgusts me that they continually are going after those that need the most support. What do you think?
Well, it's just one tragedy on top of another, right? And unfortunately, kids are misunderstood from the get-go. Even
Well, I mean,
even children and babies are so misunderstood, and the care that our kids need through their adolescence and into young adulthood is should be just a vital essential. And the fact that we can't even recognize that for all kids, let alone minorities of any kind.
well, I find it interesting that not only are they cutting like needed services, like as far as medical and stuff like that, especially for our trans siblings and the youth going through it and gender affirming care, but now they're cutting suicide hotlines. Like it's almost like they just don't care. It's like, and the thing is it's interesting. It's like every, I've been watching the news lately, unfortunately, and every accusation they've been doing is an omission, in my opinion. And it seems like every time they go on the attack and they accuse, somebody of doing something, it's an omission. And then you also see their actions and them, destroying something is like a lifeline. And the good news is, though, philanthropist Mackenzie Scott donated $45 million to the Trevor Project, the single largest one-time gift the organization's 27-year history. So at least we have good people out there willing to step up for the kids. Because I'll tell you, when I was growing up, I got told a lot when I was growing up that I was just too much, that, why it's got to be so gay, why it's got to be so flamboyant, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I did struggle with suicide. I did struggle with times where I didn't want to continue. And luckily I did have some lifelines, and we didn't have social media like we have today when I was growing up. And so that to me is something that it's like, this is a no-brainer that we need to be focusing on making sure that we have these services and these lifelines available for those who need it, especially the LGBTQIA2 spirit community, plus community, and every single marginalized community. I truly do believe that.
I think it's important, to also note in these times where services and support that we may have relied upon in the past, if they're being cut back, or if are unavailable in any way, try to do as much work as you can, like mental work, on your own, with friends, with anyone that you can talk to. Try to find communities online, communities through social media that can also help. There's tons of options out there if you put in the effort to look and to work. But mental health is a huge topic, say, for the broader queer community, not alone just, acceptance and coming out, but also, feelings of, being stunted, being behind, some of our heterosexual friends or peers,
there's an interesting, sorry to interrupt, but there's an interesting, thought process of that, like, especially with queer people.
Yes.
We spend our entire lives growing up pretending to be something that we're not, and then we have to spend our adult years unpacking all of that, figuring out who we are. And mental health is such a needed thing. We as humans and in our society, we all need to be focusing on mental health, and we need to make sure that there are resources out there. And and this is when I look at it's like it took one person to step up and give a $45 million check. We have billionaires out there, we have a trillionaire out there, and it's like, it's ridiculous that these things are still in need, that these things happen. We have people who have the flipping ability to end world hunger, to end, to end mental health struggles, and to get medical and mental health treatment to everybody on this planet. But we're in a capitalist society, and nobody seems to give a shit about anybody else but themselves and their bottom line. And it's disgusting. And the most vulnerable are the ones who suffer the most, and they suffer constantly. And it rips my heart apart.
So true.
So I want to pivot on something a little bit, because that's we've got another really pressing issue that is happening right now in the United States. Did you hear that they, on July 14th, that's just a few days ago. Oh, and by the way, let's recognize that today is International Drag Day, and we're launching We're launching this podcast on drag now. Now, granted, I'm not in drag, so I don't want to hear it. But we are in my drag room. Right. We are in the drag room, but I will be popping on in drag. I do want to say, because there is that argument going on right now, that girls don't show up in drag or do different things in drag, and I agree. I do think that we need to show up in drag, but I don't think that it's a requirement. I don't think we have to always show up in drag, but I do think that when we're able to and when we feel it, we should be able to do that. So I don't want to start a big fire. But anyways, I want to get on to what I actually wanted to talk about. July 14th, just a couple of days ago, the U.S. House passed the Sunshine Protection Act, bipartisan legislation that would make daylight savings time permanent nationwide, ending the twice-a-year clock change. States would be allowed to opt out and stay on standard time. It now heads to the Senate, where a similar bill stalled in passing in 2022. Now, this is interesting. Now, this does not mean that clocks stop changing entirely. It locks the country into current spring forward year, time round, not fall back, which is actually standard time, rather than falling back every November. And also, the orange asshole has said he likes this thing. What's interesting to me is, first of all, I live in Mexico, and we got rid of daylight savings time. So I'm not sure. I believe we're on standard time. I'd have to double check that, but I believe we're on standard time, and we move around with the United States. So every time you guys spring forward, we move into Idaho, set mountain central time, and then when you guys fall back, we move into kind of Chicago central time. And this proposal is to move you guys all forward, the spring forward time, and everybody just stays there. Now, the way they are talking about this on the internets and on the Instagrams and everything, and I see so many smear ads about this is going to be the most horrible day in the world. People are going to be in the dark, and nobody's going to have a good time, and people are going to die because when they did this in the 70s, children died in the morning, and oh my God, and I'm like, girl.
It's 1 hour.
Girl, and those of us who have lived in the northern part of the United States have dealt with dark mornings and dark midday.
Dark months. The long dark.
You keep going further to north. You go into Alaska, and they have like entire days that the sun never gets over the horizon. Like, so, and they're making it out to be this fire and brimstone and all this stuff, and I find it kind of freaking ridiculous. Now, leave it to the United States to screw it up and go with spring forward instead of just fall back to standard time and just live on standard time. And then Vallarta is actually, we're going to stay, because we're on standard time, which technically means that we mix with Chicago, but because you guys keep jumping around, it just moves. And so it's like, but we're actually in that time slot, but we don't actually do daylight savings time anymore. And so, and has our world fallen apart? No. I actually enjoy it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to lose an hour of sleep in the springtime.
Yeah, I don't care one way or another as long as they just stop doing it. Like, just pick one and go with it. I don't care.
But why is it being such a problem? Why is this such a thing?
Because it's something that they can sensationalize and distract people from more important stuff that's going on. And just like everything else, in American culture, the stupidest little thing is blown hugely out of proportion just so that people with small minds and small lives can talk about it online.
Well, that's very true. But the American Academy of Sleep Medicine,
ooh,
actually, and the American Medical Association and the National Sleep Foundation all oppose it. They argue permanent standard time, not permanent daylight saving time, is actually what matches the body's natural circadian rhythm. AASM's president said the House ignored the health evidence and called the Senate to reject what she called
surprise.
Like they literally went like, and they're so excited. They're like, okay, we finally got it passed. And we got last time. It's like I saw a video with what's her name from Washington being like, you know, and she's like, I got it past the House. Last time the House was the problem, and I got it past. I was like, but wait a minute, guys, why are you going to the spring forward, the fake time?
Well, and does it even really matter as long as people get 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night? Like,
okay, but don't even get me started on the 7 to 8 hours thing, because that's bullshit too, because the human circadian rhythm is actually 4 hours, wake up for about an hour to 2 hours, and then go back to sleep for another 4 hours. And it was all done because of the workday, and they wanted people to consolidate, and it's all about control. So I don't want to hear this bullshit and these American associations and the blah, blah, blah. And I'll agree with them with the standard time, because we in Mexico are on standard time. We got rid of daylight savings time. We didn't just go to automatically gonna live in daylight savings time.
Yeah,
like I don't know, I guess maybe the United States is living in a fantasy world, and so they just wanted to make it real.
Well, and I mean, we're also, you know, not on the on a different math system and everything as everybody else. That's just the way we do.
Yeah. Did you know that they actually did this back in 1974? They tried to pass this, and and there was a bunch of public backlash and over the dark winter mornings and everything. And that's when they did actually see a spike in children's deaths and everything. But I mean, God, in the 70s with those giant, I mean,
bottom line, pick one and go with it.
Yeah,
move on.
But like, I love the idea of getting rid of daylight savings time, but let's go to standard time, United States. Like, come on, work it out. It's kind of stupid. And it's weird.
I like Coco's comments.
Okay, what does she say?
Associations are paid to say whatever they say.
Well, okay, that I will give you. I will give you that.
Right.
I will give you that. Like there is a financial reason of why they are doing what they are doing. You know,
they all have an agenda.
That part. I mean, this goes into that, you know, that greater root problem of what's going on in the United States and how they have everything set up, and especially with the way, you know, corporations are human beings and they have a voting right and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. And you know, and it's like we are just living in a new gilded age. And I know some people who may not understand the gilded age will be like, well, it doesn't sound very, you know, fancy. No, what the gilded age means, it means that like the rich were super rich and the rest of us were stepped on.
Robber barons.
Yeah, and so we have them now. We have modern day robber barons that are running everything. That's literally what these robber barons were. Is they ran monopolies, they ran whole systems and destroyed small businesses and created these machines, and then collectively took advantage of the workers. And we're watching it again, and people are literally allowing it to happen. I will tell you that this has all been reported across ABC News, NBC News, CBS News, Washington Post, Fox News, the vote counts, everything. Just so everybody knows, I do get a lot of my information from Ground News, because it gives me a good, clear picture of all the news stories and the information that we're getting, so we can see if it's going to be leaning left, leaning right, kind of right down the middle. We can see if the facts are factual, and we can see kind of how it's spun, so we can kind of make our own take on things. This is not a paid advertisement by Ground News or anything like that, but I do recommend me Ground News. You want to sponsor, that's fine. But no, but I really think that in this day and time, we need to make sure that people know where they can find reputable news sources and be able to check their sources and check the headlines. Don't just read the headlines, and don't believe the big media outlets. Unfortunately, they've all been bought up, and now it feels like a conspiracy theorist to say this, but don't trust them. They're all the man. They're all the man, and it's disgusting.
always use a critical mind and always ask yourself who wrote this and what's their agenda.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Don't ever forget that. But I don't know.
Called critical thinking skills.
Whatever happened to that? Like, I was watching a video the other day of like growing up in the 80s and growing up in the 80s and the 90s and what our classrooms were like and what it was like and all the different things and like how you had to make good life choices sometimes, like the merry-go-round on a playground. You had to make good life choices and make the decision on where you're going to sit on that thing, depending on who was spinning the damn thing. Because if the wrong kid got to spinning it, you could end up flying across the entire yard. And so you had to make life choices. There were consequences then. You know, the slide burned the shit out of your ass because it was stainless steel in the California sun. Like, no shade.
You had to discern if you could make it all the way across the monkey bars or not. And like how far you could go before falling.
Well, and our falling was not falling in anything soft and amazing and cushioning like today. Like, like... Like it was cement or hard dirt with rocks. Yeah. You know, something that was just oh my God.
Land on your feet.
Oh, I missed the time. It felt like survival of the fittest. And I almost wish we could bring some of that back. I find it ridiculous. But anyways, I think that's a great way to segue into our next segment. I hope you guys enjoyed Hot Topics. Our next segment is Chisme. And for those of you who don't know, who don't habla español, and any of those who don't hablo español, who don't hablo español, Chisme is kind of like the gossip. What's going on, the dramas, it's not stuff that's going to ruin somebody's life, but it's, girl, I want to know what's the dish, what's going on. So, gossip item number 1.
Tell me.
Did you hear? This is actually really good gossip right now. Trixie Mattel actually just landed one of the biggest deals in drag history. Girl. So on July 8th, 2026, Trixie Mattel signed with CAA, one of Hollywood's top talent agencies for representation, moving over from UTA, who still handles her podcast and touring. And this is all reported by The Hollywood Reporter. Trixie went from winning Drag Race All-Stars 3 to a resume that now includes her own Discovery Plus show, Trixie Motel, the Trixie Motel Moving Parts, a sold-out Soul and Pink disco tour with Coachella, Outlawed Music Festivals, cosmetics line, a Fender partnership, Critics' Choice nominations. It goes on and on and on and on and on.
Girl.
What do you think? I mean, this sounds to me like somebody's breaking a glass ceiling.
Absolutely. I mean, take your chance while you got it. You know, I mean, it's few queens from Drag Race that have been able to catapult themselves to this kind of level, right? And so, strike while it's hot, girl. Strike while it's hot.
Well, it's been interesting. I've noticed that, like, in my opinion, I think as soon as Trixie was off the show, she immediately just went and was like, okay, that was fun. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Totally.
And didn't seem to follow this. I mean, maybe in the beginning followed a little bit, but really shortly after pivoted and kind of really followed her dream and did her own kind of wackadoodle things. And I think she is a brilliant artist. I think she is hilarious on the stage. I've had the pleasure of working with her a couple times. Don't know her extremely well as like a personal friend, but have very close friends who are very close with her. And she's so brilliant, and she is an inspiration for another entrepreneur like myself, another artist who kind of wants to do their own thing. Now, granted, she went through the avenue of Drag Race. However, she built her platform before.
Well, and let's also point out that it's inspiration for a queer person embracing their queerness and banking off of queerness, right?
That part.
It's a fully embracing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty fantastic. Do you think that drag is now mainstream?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, talk about market saturation. Come on, RuPaul.
Well, girl, don't even get me started on that. Like, the market saturation is out of freaking control, and I can't. Girl, it's like it's a snake eating its own tail right now.
Sure, but it wouldn't happen if it wasn't mainstream, right? The demand is there. So
no, and don't get me wrong, I'm always going to give RuPaul credit for being the pioneer that she was, and the team behind her, the amazing team. You know, Matthew, the makeup artist, Zaldi, costume design, and then the boys behind World of Wonder, kind of helping push her, and really kind of that entire team and her creating this machine that has now changed the face of what we know as drag. Like her, not like her personally, whatever, doesn't matter. You have to recognize what she's done. And I think seeing somebody like Trixie kind of launch off of that, but really kind of go in a completely different direction and take it and do it her own way is fascinating and exciting and inspirational, because like, I auditioned for, everybody always asks me, they always, you know, why aren't you on Drag Race? Why didn't you ever do this? And I was like, I did it years ago. I auditioned years ago. I was almost on. I did the fan voting. I did, I was right behind Penetration in the voting thing. And then, you know, on Jinx's season, I had been moved through and was doing other things, and then didn't make it because of course she got on. And so, as all of these different times of me being rejected, and of course, everybody's like, you know, keep going. I also started noticing the pattern of the direction of which the show was going. And I was like, well, it doesn't really align with what I want. And I want a career like a Jackie Beat, like a Sherry Vine, like a Barley Jean Merman, like a Dina Martina, you know, like a Miss Richfield, like a Coco Peru, the divas that are just continually working, that are out there doing their things and just taking over the world. And, you know, it's like, and I look at, you know, other divas now that don't have the TV show behind them. It's like, there's so many girls out there working right now that it's super impressive. And it's like, those are the careers that I want to follow. I don't begrudge anybody the Drag Race world, but would I want to be on it? No. Do I want to deal with the fandom? No. But do I want to sit here and dream that one day I could have as much money and power as Trixie Mattel by building my own thing? Yeah.
I picture you as like the Darcella Vallarta eventually, or whatever, you know?
Did you just call me an old lady?
I said eventually.
For those of you who don't know who Darcel is, Darcel was an iconic member of the Portland drag scene for centuries. Sorry, for a very, very long time. And she would actually laugh at joke. She was a pioneer and a leader and a mentor to many, many people, and recently passed away, but her legacy still lives on in the city of Portland. They actually just honored her with a big park. And her venue still runs and everything. So yeah, no, that's well, and I mean, one day I'd love to have a history like that.
Right. And just to bring it home, I mean, she was doing drag into 70s, 80s, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
weekly, you know,
yeah,
fronting that show. So get it. It can be done.
On the heel of Trixie Mattel and now drag being mainstream, we have a new report actually that says that queer representation on screen is actually shrinking. LGBTQ Nation published a report on July 7, 2026, documenting that Hollywood has largely stopped greenlighting films with trans character, as overall LGBTQ plus representation on screen has been declining amid the current political climate. The same reporting points to a shift some in the industry are calling a return to gay vague, which is marketing and storytelling that softens or erases queerness rather than naming it outright, with insiders warning future representation could get even harder to come by depending on where the political wind blows. And I'm going to say, fuck this shit.
Right.
This is bullshit. First of all, they would be nowhere. Breathe,
girl, breathe.
Oh, we wouldn't have the movies and the entertainment and everything that we did if it wasn't for queer and trans people. Nope. There wouldn't be any of this. There wouldn't be any of it, because we have been making you all look amazing for a long time. Lighting designers, sound editors, wig makers, and costume makers, and makeup artists, and stars, and crew, and everything. I mean, come on, the butch lesbians that are running the stages. You know, like, come on, like. Are you kidding me? And I'm so tired of it. I'm so freaking tired of the goddamn argument of, oh, it's too much gay and we're influencing the children. Bitch, I have watched straight people basically make children on a screen my entire life.
Still gay.
Still gay as hell. Still so into men.
Right.
And I get so uncomfortable every time I have to see a sex scene that goes on and on and on. To be honest, I don't need to see a sex scene or anything. It's not that I'm prude or anything like that. Like, I don't mind nudity. Show a dick, show a titty, show a vagina, show an ass. I don't give a shit. But when it comes to when people be looking like, girl, we adults. I know what happens. Get good passion, get a little heavy petting, get a little steamy, get a little art creative, do a little fade out, wake up in the morning with everything messed up and having coffee, girl. We know what happened. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't need all of that shoved down my throat. Now, until we're going to get that monitored, then yeah, I need more gay sex scenes. I need more lesbian sex scenes. I need more homosexual sex scenes. I need threesomes and quadruplesums, and I need orgies, darling. I need orgies. I need Caligula homosexual style. Well, Caligula was homosexual style. Like, if you ever, anyway, I'm digressing. But the thing is like, I'm so tired of the machine using us and abusing us, and then when it's convenient, throwing it away. I mean, it goes into this whole thing of people and their disdain for queerness and everything, and backsliding on marriage equality, and backsliding on queer rights and trans rights and everything. And it's like, and people are like, well, do you think people are changing their mind? Do you think it's because of the new movement? No, bitch. People aren't changing their minds. People are just now stopping going along with everybody. Whereas for a while we had a movement of society bringing everybody up, and that we needed to bring everybody together and represent each and every one of us. And we were doing that, and we shamed other people for going the other direction and holding on to racism and homophobia and xenophobia and all that. We were moving in a direction of acceptance. And yes, it did get a little bit annoying. LGBTQIA, LMNOP, QRSTUV, X, Y, and Z. I get it. You know, it's the longest acronym in the world, but I don't give a shit. Like, build the acronym. I don't care. It could be as long as pi. If you look at, like, I don't care. Like, if it makes somebody feel represented, great. Welcome to the frickin' family, baby. Because we've not felt represented for so long. And so it just, anyway, you know how I feel.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty scary considering, the recent changes in the media landscape and all these ultra conservative people, families, companies buying up all the media companies, even social media, right? TikTok's now owned by a right winger.
Girl, don't even get me started on all that crap.
It's questioning, you can only question, is it going to get worse, right?
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of this is money talks, right? So if queer people support queer artists and queer media strongly, then the money will talk. It would be interesting to know if the movie Bros did differently, if that would have had a different effect on, gay media. And I think Billy Eichner recently did an interview. I've seen clips of it. That sounds really interesting, where he just talks about basically he said everything was complicated about getting that movie made. Nothing was straightforward. Everything was complicated. And unfortunately, that's how the industry is. But anyway.
No, and that's the thing. It's like, and it goes back to the whole thing. It's like, people are like, well, people aren't changing their minds. They're feeling more galvanized, that they can actually let their hate out. They don't have to play along anymore. And to be honest, I would rather go back to the other way of where we were publicly shaming people. Like, I want to know now I know where you stand, and now I want to publicly shame each and every one of them. And I do think that there is a little bit of a movement of that is happening. I do see people more and more working that direction, and I like seeing it because it's what needs to happen. Yes. It's really what needs to happen. And I am tired of our queer community just being used and abused and thrown away, and then pulled back out when you need something shiny or somebody to do your hair. Like,
right. Well, and also, where are the allies, right? Like, where are all the straight people in Hollywood, fighting for their queer peers and speaking out and speaking up, huh?
Well, and that's the thing is like, when we are talking about like, for example, when you're, especially as a white person and you're trying to combat racism, you can't just be, can't just be
silent,
not racist and silent. You've got to be anti-racist, and you have to go out and you have to make the calls and you have to call people out on it, and you have to work on dismantling the system. And if you see something, say something. And the same thing goes with queer people and in every marginalized community. If you see something, say something. I mean, if I see somebody, I'm going to stand up for my community, but that is also the beautiful thing about our communities. If you notice, those of us who've been through this before know what happens. This is when you will see queer businesses start to thrive.
Yep.
This is when you will see different businesses start popping up that are dual purpose, like bring back the day of the gift shop bookstore, where it actually was also a meeting place where a community actually met and people could have gathering spaces. It didn't have to center around alcohol. Maybe it centered around coffee, but it was a gay bookstore and you could go in and, meet with the elders and community was built. I notice that when we get in times like this, we tend to spend our money where our community is and I hope we continue to do that. But I also challenge our allies. It's time for you to do what you need to do. You're the ones who are part of the big machine. You're in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when the white people will be like, well, why can't my black friends help me explain? No, bitch, they tired. They've been dealing with this shit every moment of every day of every bit of their life. They're tired. It's time to pick it up and do the education on yourself. So allies, we need you to put up or buck up, like just to put up or shut up. Because I'm really fucking tired of all of us getting laid out to dry when we're the ones who are holding this shit and we got to hold ourselves together. Like, girl.
Amen. Praise Madonna.
Yeah, praise the goddess. Gossip item number 3 today. Ooh. Sue Bird, Seattle, little tie. Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. I can read American educational system. Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe break up. One season later, the sports power couple Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe announced in April, actually, that they were ending their 10-year relationship, calling it a mutual decision made with love and respect and care for each other. They would also wind down their joint podcast. We'll pick it up. But Bird got candid about the split in a June interview, saying that there's no version of who she is without having been with Megan, and that she's now stepping into a newer, healed version of herself, excited and a little scared to be out in the world again. Baby.
Oh, sounds vaguely familiar.
Baby. Let me just pull my hair back and girl, it feels like a revolution time for so many people. I know so many people that are going through this, that are getting out of old relationships, healing some past toxic traits, cycles, generational cycles, and really doing the work and trying to move forward and doing it in love and in compassion. And I can say that as somebody who's just gone through cancer, gone through, I'm in the middle of a divorce of a 25-year marriage. And I'm coming out of it with positivity. I have no anger, no frustration, no upset towards my ex-husband, towards any of the things that have been going on in my life, because they've all given me perspective of where I'm at, and I'm super grateful, but I'm also moving forward in a whole new chapter. So you know what, Sue, get out there, baby. It's okay. Figure out who you are, baby. Figure out who you are independently, baby. Get out there, because you are fierce, you are fabulous, and you did it already on your own. You are Sue motherfucking Bird.
Right.
Okay? Don't forget that, girl.
Well, and also kind of tying this back into everything else we've been talking about throughout the episode, when everything around you is really crazy and feels unsettled, stressful, dangerous even, one of the best things you can do is secure your inner, clean your inner, calm your inner, get as much balance as you can, work on that mental health.
Exactly.
And just balance yourself out as much as you can so that you can weather the storm. And that's for any of life's big changes and ups and downs,
No, it's true. That's exactly what anybody needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, and we're afraid to do it sometimes, but
It's
center
scary.
yourself, baby.
It's hard work.
It is, but what's on the other side is so worth it. what a great way to segue out of Cheesemay into Mama's Milk.
Ooh.
Go ahead, take a sip, girl. Take a sip. Now, Mama's Milk is a fun take on kind of my inspiration, my little words of wisdom for everybody, and kind of my take on life and kind of how I want to present it. And Mama's Milk was something that, you know, brought us all sustenance when we were kids. And if you're a kinky little bitch, it can sound a little dirty, you know, Mama's Milk. You know, just a little bit of sustenance for you.
ASMR episode.
You're welcome. Tonight on Easy Listening.
And on Delilah.
Yeah. Let's check in with Delilah on Easy Listening on Cool 100.5. Anyway, let's take us all back. So today I want to talk about, what do you do when you feel completely alone? Not everyone who's listening is going to be in crisis. Hopefully not. But I know every single person out there who's listening has felt completely, frighteningly alone at some point.
We all go through
and, you know, that 3 a.m. kind, the middle of the crowd kind, the kind that hits when everything looks from the outside. Everything looks fine from the outside, but the inside's not so good. This is for that person. So I've had to struggle a lot with being alone and feeling loneliness and everything, because I have walked a path of my own. When I was younger, I moved out of my parents' house when I was 16 because we dealt with some family issues. We'll get into that in other episodes, but there were some family issues and I ended up having to leave, and which was better for me. And I lived in New York City. I've moved all over. I've done different things in my life that have put me in a situation where I've been alone a lot, and I've had to think. And recently I find myself alone again in my home. Yes, I have my little puppy dogs running around the house, but I am alone. And recently I just went through cancer alone. I had my beautiful support system. I had my beautiful boyfriend at my side through every single moment. But when I go into the treatments, I was by myself. Those doors close and there's nobody else there, and I'm alone. And one of the things that always helps me is that I have to remember that the only person who has never hurt me, who has never left me, who has never abused me, who's never taken advantage of me, who's never ignored me, has been me. And when you sit with that, it can be hard to take that in due to traumas, due to other things. And I challenge everybody, really sit with it and realize that truly you've got this. And to be alone is not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. We are born alone. We die alone. We go through a lot of things in our life alone. And it's so important for us to be able to handle shit alone. Get out there and go to dinner by yourself. Go to a movie by yourself. Go to an amusement park by yourself. One day, I went to Disneyland one day by myself. Nice. I was in LA. I had time.
Why not?
I had a car, and I was 45 minutes away from the park, and I was like, I'm going motherfucking Disneyland. And everyone was just like, who you going with? I was like, nobody. I ain't got to wait for nobody. And I single rider line that whole thing, and I had the best. Girl, I didn't have to wait for anything. I was like, girl, let's go. Let's go. Like, right. I don't have to worry about anybody. I don't have to ask their opinion. I can do what I want to do. It's beautiful.
Well, and it's such a good point, too, of starting to go out and do things on your own, because the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the more comfortable it becomes. You know, do it once and then it's easier to do it again.
Well, and it's a date with yourself. It's a day. It's time for you. That's the way I look at it. Is it's mine. I don't want to, if it's for me, like if I want to have an evening at home alone, and I don't want anybody to bother me.
Yep.
You know, if I want to go out to dinner and I want to be alone, I can even take my headphones, put my headphones on, take them off when the waiter's there, order what I want, put my headphones back on, and just kind of live in my little world. Because it's really important to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
And this goes back to that mental health thing. And I really want to stress it to each and every one of our listeners and watchers. You are worth it. I don't care what anybody may have told you, however anybody speaks to you. I hope that when you look in the mirror, that you see that you are worth it, that you are a unique, beautiful creature that has so many wonderful things to offer this world that may not be understood all the time, but that just means you're not in the right place with the right people. So wait, and you'll find the right people. And then when you're understood, you're going to fly.
Yep.
Find those people who understand you, surround yourself with those people to give you the strength, but also remember, you got this.
Yep. Absolutely.
And your power, when you are one, when you are strong as yourself, that means nobody else can manipulate you. Nobody else can control you. Nobody else can pull you in whatever direction because you've got you. So I challenge you. And if you feel awkward about going out and doing anything like that, I challenge you, each and every one of you, do something that scares you once every day.
Absolutely.
But if you are struggling with being alone, take yourself on a coffee date. It doesn't have to be a long dinner or anything like that. Just take yourself on a coffee date and go get 1 cup of coffee, but don't take it to go. Take it and go sit there at the cafe, or take it to go and go sit somewhere by yourself. Enjoy the view, enjoy the people, read a book, do whatever, but take that time and really make time for you. And you might be surprised at what happens and how much better you feel when you're alone.
Well, it gives you an opportunity to connect with yourself, right? To focus on yourself for a minute. But also on the flip side, when I go out by myself is some of the times when I meet the funnest people.
Because you're not held back by other groups, so you're just
well, and people, and nice people, when they see you out on alone, will reach out to you. You know, like take yourself out to dinner and sit at the bar, whether you want to drink or not, but sit at the bar and guaranteed the bartender will talk to you, the people on either side will talk to you. It's just how it goes.
And try to
opportunity.
And try to go with as much open energy as possible. I'm not going to tell you to sit there and smile. No, fuck that. But try and go with open energy as much as you can. I understand it's going to be out of your box, but you know what? Give it a shot. It's only for you. It's only for you. So, and you can't lose when you're doing it for you. So, I think that's a great way to go ahead and close out Mama's Milk on that one. We are getting through this. We only have about 15 minutes left, less than 15 minutes left of the podcast. And it's been going really quick. I know. I hope our listeners are enjoying it. We're going to go ahead and get this onto wherever you will find podcasts. We're going to get these. They'll get downloaded, edited, all that fun stuff, and we'll have all that.
Hey, Daniel.
Oh,
Dr. Daniel.
Oh, hello, Dr. Daniel. That man has helped me a lot in a lot of things. That man helped me find some medication. Wow, the stuff that I went through and the way that man helped me. I really appreciate you, Dr. Dan. You're amazing. So the segment for what we like to do is called Good News Only. It's kind of like Under the Desk News, their banana shirt, good news only. There's a lot of stuff we've talked about that can be heavy, and I want to make sure that we got good news in there. So good news: 1,500 animal species are queer, and science has receipts.
Love it,
girl. I'm so tired of people telling me to be like, it's not natural. Girl, it's fucking natural.
Please.
Girl, it's natural. We are here to control y'all.
Right.
We're the ones to take care of the kids that you don't want. There's the hot take.
Right.
We're the ones here to take care of the kids that you don't want. And we're here to keep the control of this population because y'all are nuts. Y'all have like 10, 15 kids. Why? Like, why? We don't have a farm. You don't need an entire farm hand. team. You don't need a whole girl. You don't need the whole like front line of a, professional football. Like, girl, these people are, and anyway, good news only. 1,500 animal species are queer. I love that. Just makes me happy. They reported it on July 8, 2026, that over 1,500 animal species have been documented exhibiting same-sex sexual behavior in the wild. Penguins, elephants, dolphins, bonobos. I have no idea what a bonobo is. But I just love it.
A monkey of some kind or ape, right?
I'm sure. American education system. And I should have looked it up, but I'm pretty. I'm very pretty. It just makes me happy because anytime anybody tells you that's not natural, be like, girl, don't try me. It's natural, and it's naturally occurring. Yeah. Let's see here. Now, this one is for it's a little political fun, but I do love to see a queer person not being afraid and running full force. And a gay man is running for Congress, and he's not taking no for an answer. Jordan Wood re-entered the congressional race after the previous candidate, Graham Planter, dropped out. And he told political insiders that a gay man, when told by political insiders that a gay man can't win, Wood pushed back hard, saying those cynics are wrong. And that was reported by LGBTQ Nation this month. Yeah. And I think I think we do need more queer people in Congress. I do think we need more tenacious people. I mean, I'm mouthy as hell. I don't think I belong in Congress, but well, I think we need more people to use their voice and get out there and really be part of the community and actually do the work.
We need more regular people running for government. And the fact of the matter is the people will vote for any candidate who's fighting for them, who's speaking to them and fighting on their behalf instead of, I mean, look at Zoran Mamdani.
Mamdani. I apologize for fumbling his name, but Zoran Mamdani is a shining example of what can happen when politics and the community they serve align. And now I think it's happening. There's a possibility of it happening in California. I think there's another situation of that. Something similar is popping up in California with a female candidate. I think in LA. I don't have all the information. I saw it today right before we went live, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Yeah. So this could be the new movement. I mean, because I would much rather align with democratic socialists than what is going on. So good news. Things are moving, even though it's a little slow for my taste, but things are moving.
Well, and also just another important point, we've been talking, a lot about difficult things, scary things that are going on around us these days. But there are plenty of good things. Good things happen every day. Good people are all around us. If you look for it, you'll see it. You'll find it.
Correct. If you're looking for the negative, you're going to find the negative. But if you look for the positive, you can find the positive. And it's all about change your perspective if you can. Yep. Like I said, take yourself on that date and do those things to give yourself a little bit of downtime, and don't do it doom scrolling. Don't do it doom scrolling. And I am looking at myself in the reflection of the stream to tell myself, don't be doom scrolling. Girl, we all guilty. We doom scroll, and it's natural, but let's try and keep that under control.
Well, and also, like we talked about earlier, have a discerning mind, right? Like the things that you see that are impacting you, ask yourself, where's this coming from? Who put this together? What's their agenda?
Exactly. Get out there and find the information for yourself. Verify the information before you just flap share it. But also, again, work on your core, work on your foundation, work on your center before you got to go deal with any of this, because all that other shit's going to be there. Yep. All of it's going to be there. Take care of you, because if you can't take care of you, you can't take care of other people. So let's start with each and an individual and do that. But because then we can actually have some people, fighting, getting out there and fighting and doing the good work, because they're empowered and they feel strong and because they've taken the time to feed them souls. And I think as a community, we need to take care of one another, especially now. We really need to start taking care of one another. Those of us who've been through this before need to guide the newer generations through it. And we'll get through this. We are going to get through this. Trust me. But girl, speaking of getting through it, we just got through our very first episode of Tits Tea Podcast. What do you think, James with the J?
Hey. This is fun.
Yeah, I think it was fun. You didn't fidget too much.
Not too much.
You did pretty good. You did pretty good. We went over so many different things. We talked about all the hot topics. We talked about cheese may. We gave you some mama's milk, gave you some good news. Next week, by the way, for those of you who don't know, we are doing this every week at 6 o'clock Pacific time. Doesn't matter what the government says. We're going to do it at 6 o'clock Pacific time, whatever that may be. We're doing it at 6 o'clock Pacific time every Thursday right here. We're going to be streaming live. So follow us, and here soon we'll get all of the other episodes as they come. We'll get them up on the streaming platforms, and we'll let you know where all that is. But we have got some amazing things. Next episode, though, we're going to be going after the Supreme Court. They just ruled on conversion therapy for kids, and we need to talk about that. So, and we got so many other things, gossip and all kinds of stuff we're going to talk about next week. But if those of you who want to know where to find me, you can find me on my website, themamatits.com, on Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. My season runs through October through May down here in Puerto Vallarta, and I'm either at the Palm Cabaret or at our sister property, Coco Cabaret. I'd love to see you on your holidays, and then through the summer, you can catch me either here in PV relaxing or touring other places. But I hope we get to see you back here on the regular for the Tits Tea Podcast. James with a J will be with us every single episode, as long as she's not off horn around somewhere doing something. But
You don't know
but if he's gone, we'll make sure we have another guest, and I will promise you in the next few episodes we're going to have a couple of our guests joining us. So it'll be James with the J, myself, and a couple guests. So we hope you enjoy this journey. We hope you come along with us on this new world of Tits and Tea. Thank you for being a part of the very first episode. And if you are a big brand out there and you liked it, you want to sponsor us, hit me up in my DMs. We will take your money. But we just want to make sure that you all, I want to leave you with how I leave all of my broadcasts. I just want to remind you all to be yourselves, be proud, and always shine like the stars you are. And if you have a prostate, get it checked. I love you all. Bye, James with the J. We'll see you next time. Say bye.
Bye, girl.
Have
Bye,
a good
everyone.
one. Bye, guys.